Well, good morning. Fires. In 1871, there was clearly a reset. Now, I've got lots of info on it that I've been collecting for years. And if you look at the numbers, 1 and 8 is 9, right? And 7 is 16, and 1 is 17, and that equals 8. And 8 is the number of completion. You've had your time. It's up. On October 8, 1871, around 9 p.m., the following independent fires all broke out at the same time. The Great Chicago Fire destroyed the whole city center. The Peshtigo Fire in Wisconsin, the deadliest fire in North American history. It didn't just burn, it was a firestorm that killed 1,500 people and turned sand into glass. Do you know what that is? Well, I have a kind of an interesting story. Maybe I'll add it at the end, but this is what fireballs and lightning does to trees. It makes them hard as rocks immediately. Immediately. Boom. And that's why we went to the moon, to see if the rocks on the moon turned to glass, and they did. And that told us that the sun had novaed or turned over or cycled, right? So a Fuggerite, I think is the name of it. I never quite get it right, but I've read quite a bit on the topic, and it's undeniable that it's weird BS. And it just confirms that I believe we're products of information and cycles. Okay, the Great Michigan Fire. It burned hundreds of acres across the state, including Holland and Port Huron. The Windsor Fire in Ontario, across the border in Canada, the same night. Standard History blames a cow, Chicago, and a drought, the woods. But the mathematical probability of 4 massive distinct urban and forest fires igniting at the same hour across 3 states and 2 countries. No, that ain't coincidence. Sorry. The atmospheric anomaly. Eyewitnesses in Peshtigo and Chicago reported balls of fire falling from the sky and blue flames that seemed to ignite stones and bricks. The suppression, mainstream history ignores these accounts. They say it's hysteria. But you can bet your boots they'll swear on Jesus that we don't have a lick of evidence for. So Doug Vogt, my mentor, his theory is that there was an exterior trigger, maybe a cometary fragment or a solar micronova pulse, the thing that Doug tells us most about, but that the atmospheric electrical state of our planet cause things to spontaneously combust. Weird stuff, right? So the record reset strategy. These fires provide a legal vacuum. When a city's Hall of Records burns down everything, as they did in almost every case, several things happen. Think about it. Land title, gone, erasure. All previous land claims, indigenous rights, the old world deeds, gone. The banks and the government needed to come in and remap the city. Well, praise baby Jesus. And then in 1890, the census. This is the most famous lost record, and the timing was critical. It was allegedly destroyed by the fire in 1921. It was the only true census that could have proven the true population and the development level of North America before the bullshit official narrative took over. The temporary lie. After all the lies, the narrative became this: the cities were just flammable wooden shacks. This allowed them to ignore the possibility that there were advanced, stone-based, old world structures already here. Of course, when I go live, my phone rings. The Great Fire Timeline. If you look at the dates, it's almost a checklist of urban destruction. They didn't just hide the truth, they incinerated the evidence. They incinerated the evidence of the real history. The leadership didn't need to rewrite every book. They just had to burn the municipal archives. And the 1890 census, once the primary sources were ash, they could tell the survivors whatever the hell they wanted about who built the land and what was coming next. If you've read the Adam and Eve story, that manuscript that the CIA just happened to classify, you might see the atmospheric fires tied to the pole shift. It's pretty obvious to anybody like me that this world is not what we've been told.